Okay, this will be an interesting one. See if we can make it look any good. It looks challenging. It's pretty, but it looks challenging. Very challenging, pretty much. So I'm wondering how big. We're going at 400 for this. This will be a very, no, we don't want that. This user interface is a pain, as you can see. So this piece is going to be a really interesting one that we're working with. I don't think I've done anything quite like it, so it'll be an interesting one to see how we make it. See how it comes out. Anyway, it is a miniature oil painting. I got this cheap from a Lifeline shop, and it's just a miniature oil painting that some artist has obviously cast off. It's a shame when art gets seen at these op shops and you get the feeling the artist has lost any kind of hope of ever getting recognised as an artist. Maybe this work has been exhibited, but it didn't sell. There's a lot of this kind of art you find in op shops. I mean, my art hasn't exactly become a household name yet, but I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep showing my talent on showcasing it on my YouTube channel. Now that looks really nice, actually. I'm wondering where the centre of this job is going to be. It's the biggest size we can blow it up. So I'm actually wondering if we're going to make a master copy of this. So this is a nice little oil painting, and I feel sorry for the artist who made it, because I know it's really hard to get your work as an artist recognised. It's very difficult, folks. I've had so much difficulty in my own walk as an artist. I really have not seen anything happen with my work, so I'm not happy with the way the world is. You know, that people who are creative often get dudded out of having any kind of control over things. You know, that often the creative person has to still work in a daytime job, as you could call it. You know, and they can't fully pursue their artistic abilities. They have to work and pay for their creativity. They've got to pay for it. They've got to basically work hard in a non-creative job, usually, or maybe if they are able to land a job in graphic design, which is for commercial art, which is commercial, but it's not the same as fine art. And fine art is so grossly underrated. It's really underrated, the way fine art has been. I think I'm going to turn this one on an angle, but that's a really nice looking texture. Wondering if we're going to turn it on a side. I'm going to just tilt it a bit. But basically, it's like being a fine artist, isn't it? Graphic art in a advertising agency is taken seriously. But when you're talking about art for the sake of art, and I'm sure there's a lot of art critics that have spoken extensively over issues such as these, well, art for the sake of art just doesn't get any kind of financial or vocational recognition. You can study to be an artist, you can study fine art, you can study that sort of thing, but you can't actually get a job in fine art. You have to really, really work hard, and you have to live a very tight, and artists are often very poor people. They don't have much money because they're trying to feed themselves, as well as providing for their career as an artist, or their future as a graphic, or not graphic as in advertising graphic, but as a as a proper artist. So I'm wondering if we're going to just leave it like that. So it's really difficult. It just becomes, art is usually stuffed away as a hobby. That's all it becomes, is a fucking hobby. And as I said, you've got to survive. You've still got to make money to live. And then your hobby, it's just a hobby, and your hobby costs money. It's not making you any money. And that's the problem with art. And you can't, but the way society is, people seem to think that everything has to be for the dirty dollar. Everything has to be about money. So art is the only way art can pay is if you become a graphic designer and work on computers and make advertising graphics, really dehumanizing shit. You can't be yourself. You can't, you got to bloody toe the line, and you got to fucking make money for the advertising agencies. It shouldn't be about money all the time. It's got to be about fucking the soul and the spirit of life and expression, self-expression, and people looking at your work, and you feel good that you've made someone's day as a fine artist. But I'm trying to get my shit recognised on social media. I've given up on trying to get into exhibitions and competitions and that. I'd rather just try and self-promote instead and use social media as my virtual art gallery. So that's the way I'm going. Basically, it's like trying to keep up with the times. There's still people like art galleries, but I don't. I'm over art galleries. I rarely get much joy from the response I get from them. But anyway, I think that looks really quite nice. Yeah, gotta go.